after many years of discussion, some of us got to see a development at Rochester Institute of Technology built by Wilmerite, and we thought, wow, that's kind of exactly what we'd like to have. Unfortunately, at the time we didn't have land. Well, then the foundation found a way to purchase that adjacent parcel, and I think it's the best of all worlds for our students.
Good evening and welcome to the Town of New Paltz Planning Board public hearing on the Park Point project.
The basic project is 42 acres. There's an additional 8-acre parcel that through the evolution of the application process and the seeker process was added into the equation so that we could locate the sanitary treatment facilities in a better location. There's 10 student appropriate buildings proposed for the site. That's 228 units with a total of about 696 beds. Also, there is a faculty appropriate housing component to it in the form of 3 buildings. Each of those buildings will have approximately 8 to 10 units for a total of 24 to 32 units of faculty appropriate housing as well on that site.
The Park Point project is something that the institution has needed to do for a long time. I was very much involved with housing on campus because in student affairs, housing always reported to me. And I sat on, in the late 80s, there was a joint town-village housing committee, and it was to take a look at the need for housing in New Paltz, and it was demonstrated, a couple decades ago that we were sorely in need of housing.
My office at New Paltz is primarily responsible for recruiting freshmen and transfer students to the college, and we visit the local community colleges, all 7 local community colleges in the area, and I've had to sit with students as I'm talking with them about transferring to New Paltz, going over their credits, and then break the news to them that, sorry, but there's no on-campus housing. I have had students crying, literally crying in front of me, the mom almost in tears, again because of the news of not being able to live on campus.
I do agree that New Paltz, should be looking for other housing, but this is just not the way to go about it. They want to have apartments where each student has a bathroom, and that's just not sustainable. That's not thinking about the future.
This project has quite a few acres that were used for orchards, which means that they were sprayed heavily with pesticides, starting with heavy metals and going on to the chlorinated hydrocarbons of the modern era.
There were reported levels of arsenic, which are 4 times higher than the federal regulations would allow, and 5 times higher than the state regulations allow for. And the levels where they test for arsenic are beneath the trees, where they tend to kind of, right beneath the trees, but it tends to actually dissipate much lower into the soil beds. So, what they found is actually probably not as bad as it might likely be.
My property is adjacent to the orchard where the water supply is coming from, and my concern is the wells that are being drilled into the same aquifer that I use, and my neighbors, I think I have 4 neighbors that are directly affected by this.
I suppose people have a right to feel concerned when they read about an elevated level of this or the need to do that, but whether a development is public or it's private, it's overseen by the New York State DEC.
I think that the way it's being built now, it might last a few years, and then a few more years down the line, they'll realize that they need to put more green technology, and they'll have to spend even more money adding it in. I think that that money should be spent now so that this building can last and we can benefit from it for many years.
I think that we're building an environmentally sensitive project. We're building it in accord with best practices for development.
The fact that they're building is much needed because it's, the residency rate in New Paltz is really low. It's like less than 1% of the rooms are vacant. So, they definitely need more rooms. It's just the manner in which they're building it. I think that I'm hoping that the administration will be able to work with the students and Wilmerite, and I think that these things need to be looked at and addressed in a skillful way where everybody can benefit.